Okay, so the first thing we're looking at today is these Swiss pairs. So first thing up, we got Aussie Swiss here. You can see it's been super bullish all month, just straight up, no pullbacks, nothing. But it is now hitting this zone. So plus it's within it's pretty close to its full monthly range, about 250 pips. So, and you can see we're getting a little bit of a bear candle now as it hits this area. So we'll see how today closes, but I am looking for a pullback in this zone. It might not continue to be bearish. I think that the Swiss pairs could definitely be transitioning over and becoming more bullish, and like I do think this zone could very well be broken, but probably won't be this month. That'll probably pull back. And so the area of entry that I'd be looking for would be something like this, and I would just look for a pullback on this segment here, not from the very bottom, although you probably could, and it'd still probably be pretty valid, but I just look from this segment here because there's been zero pullback at all. And so your next area of entry would be about in here somewhere, and you can see all these wicks line up really well. So you could either sell from here down to here or wait for the pullback and then enter down here, which is probably what I'll do, and it'll probably be a next month thing. Be something like this, and then target this zone obviously first, and then the next zone, which might be at the top here, this segment of price all the way up. Depending on the monthly range, it looks to be about 250 pips. So I think this might be the next section. Might take a while, like all of next month, to get up here, but could definitely do it, especially if it breaks this zone. If it pulls back and then breaks this zone, then means there's some good momentum. So we'd obviously have to test this daily moving average, and then if it breaks above it, then that is technically bullish. So yeah, and I do think most of the Swiss pairs are transitioning. So because you never really seen bull momentum like this, just consistent. But I mean, these candles aren't massive, and I guess after like this much bear movement, this isn't that crazy. So we'll see if it breaks this zone. This is obviously a pretty significant zone, so I don't know if it'll break, but just have to wait and see. But I do anticipate a reversal here, so some sort of pullback. I don't think it's gonna have enough momentum just to bust through it. So if it pulls back and breaks through it, that's one thing, but I just don't think that don't think it's just gonna go straight through here. I think this is just too significant. So I am looking for a bit of a potential sell trade in this area. So looking at that now, might as well look at it now. If we break this down, we'll probably have to wait for at least another day for this to set up, just to be certain. I like to wait for things to set up. It just tends to play out better. So right now, you drop it down to the 4-hour time frame here. You have consistent higher highs, higher lows, right? It's just obvious bull structure. And then it is hitting this main zone, and then there's a smaller liquidity zone below it right here so far, this little 4-hour zone, even market. So it's got this 4-hour zone that's gonna have to be broken too, obviously. And so I'd be waiting for that. We'll delete this for now. And then we can delete this fib. So, we're looking for lower lows, lower highs. So the first thing that comes to mind is this price has to be broken here. This needs to be broken and retested. You can see 1 hour it even lines up. I mean, you could actually sneak this up to this section here, and I'd be okay with this. This needs to be broken and then retested and rejected, and then might be good to go. I'd probably wait for like a nice bearish engulfing candle, ideally on the 4-hour, but potentially on the 1 hour as well. Something like this candle. Well, actually, this candle. This is the candle. This is the candle setup I want to see below this zone. And then obviously it'd be nice if price and these moving averages caught up and then swung above price as price broke below the moving averages. That'd be good as well. And then yeah, a bit of a pullback just to this zone here, and then obviously you'd cinch your stop, and just be mindful that like you are kind of counter trend trading, because recently it has been very bullish and it is above the 4-hour moving average. So there is definitely bull momentum there. So you're just kind of anticipating that it's easing up, and you're going to sneak this little pullback trade in. So that'd be my take on this. It'd be something like this, as far as an entry position would be like this probably, and then just target this zone. probably where it makes sense, which would be about right here. You can just see that there's another mini liquidity area right here. Was resistance, and then when price broke above became support. So this is my little zone here. Get a 3 to 4 risk to reward. That's pretty good. Can always dial in this stop even a bit more. As far as entering, I'd keep it above. Let's say price broke below here, and then came back up and rejected this area. If you keep your stop above this 4-hour zone as well, that gives you 2 liquidity zones as protection. So even if there's a liquidity grab and price shoots up and then pulls back, you're probably good, because it's probably not going to shoot above these wicks. It might shoot into this zone, this bottom a bit, to grab some liquidity before it hikes down. But yeah, it shouldn't stop you out. So, but if you wanted to, I mean, you could always tighten your stop up if it makes sense to you. Then it could be a possibility. So, and then yeah, I would target that. I would target the 50% 618 zone of this segment here, which would be bang on right here. And then if you want, this is another tool I've been using recently. We'll see how well it works. It doesn't work for every pair, but fixed volume range. You put this, use this tool for this segment here, and you can kind of figure out where the imbalance is, buyers and sellers, and you can see it lines up perfectly with our zone. So the biggest imbalance here was right here, this little section here. So as price comes down, and I think this line means it's like basically fair price as of this point. But then, so below this price, like that's where the imbalance was. So it's more likely where prices to head, and you can see that, there's lots of wicks in this area. This is a high liquidity zone. It makes sense, and there's just not enough. There was just not enough buyers and sellers in this point. So price is probably going to make its way down and just retest this area. So if we delete this now, you can see that. Oops. You can see that that's obviously, this is the zone that we just drew right here, this little one. So we'll leave that in here, and you can see that with Fibonacci, I mean, it lines up really, really well, right? Right below this 50%, bang on with these wicks here. So it's a pretty good position. So either way, no matter which zone we use, if we use any of these zones, probably pretty good to go to target. So I do like this trade. I'd like to see how today closes. Obviously, if we can get a couple bearish engulfing candles, even 4 hours, that'd be great. If we can get this daily candle to be, engulf this a little bit, that'd be great too. But it still probably take 2 days. Today's Tuesday. Be looking for, maybe Thursday setup, and then into next month. It might be a next month setup, and then pull back up and probably target. I mean, if it takes a couple weeks or whatever for price to get down here next month, if next month is slow, then it might take the rest of the month just to make its way back up and retest this zone. So might see something like that just for next month, but we'll just have to see how today closes, and then really the next 2 days, and see if this this retracement trade is setting up, which I do think it is. I can see the bear structure setting up a little bit. Obviously it's gonna have to break this, but just the fact that it's rejecting this zone, and it's created a new liquidity zone right below this zone, so this major zone. So we will see, but that is Aussie Swiss, and I'll see you guys in the next one.